Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Frank again. Welcome to my second tutorial of host a static website in Heroku for free using Python Flask framework. Yeah. So before we start, I just want to point out someone has advised me from the first video that we did with Meogang that I should include a guideline for each of the tutorials that we're doing here. So just want you to know that these are the guidelines that we will be following for today. Yeah. So I just want to point out that the order of these steps here doesn't really matter. For example, you can create a Heroku account first instead of following the Heroku documentation. Yeah. So before we start, I just want to talk a little bit about what Heroku is. Heroku is a PaaS platform, so that is a platform as a service platform which makes it easy for hosting your web applications in many languages such as JavaScript, Ruby, Java, PHP, Python, Golang, Scala, and Clojure. Yeah. So it's a really cool platform. I really love them, and it's cool services there, and I am really excited right now. So with that being said, without any further ado, let's get started. Yeah. So first of all, head over to Heroku.com to go for sign up for an account. Yeah, the sign up process is very straightforward, and it's only gonna take 30 seconds. And I already had an account a long time ago, so I'm not gonna sign up for an account again. So if you sign up, go ahead and log in here. I will tell you why you should, log in first. So I'm just logging. Okay, after logging in, we're gonna be proceeding with the coding session for today. Yeah, so let me head over to my desktop. Yeah, so as you can see, I have already created a empty folder here. You should also create a new empty folder, and you can also see we have a index.html file here. So this is the file that we will be pushing today to Heroku. So we're gonna let Heroku to serve this static page in the web. Yeah, so good. So after creating an empty folder, so let me just drag and drop this HTML file to the folder. Yeah, so okay, good. And I want to head over to my terminal. And the text editor I'm going to be using today is Atom. So you can use whatever text editor you want. I'm going to use Atom for today. So I will use Atom to open the the empty folder that we have just created. So Atom website example. Okay, good. So you will see Atom pop up to open up my empty folder here. Okay, good. So we are ready to rumble for today. So let's take a look at the index.html file. Okay, it's very simple structure. Let's copy the full path and open them in the browser here. Good. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. Copy full path and open the file here. Okay, good. So you can see inspired by Spectrum art masterpiece from Frank. Okay, it's not really a masterpiece, just a bunch of table with different colors. Okay, so this is a file that we'll be working today along with Heroku. Okay, good. Okay, before we start, I want to create a bunch of folders here. So we need to organize our folder. Like, first of all, I'm gonna create an empty folder called templates. I will be explaining why we need to create a folder called templates. That's because we're going to be using Flask. So Flask can only understand the static files when these static files are placed in the templates folder. Yeah. Okay. With that being said, let's drag this HTML file to templates folder. Okay. Now it's in templates. It's no longer in the website. It's no longer in the parent root here. Okay, now, so let me open my command line here. So we're gonna be install a bunch of stuff and also create a virtual environment. So we will need to create a virtual environment. So in order to create a virtual environment, you will need to pip install virtual virtual env. Okay, I think I already had it. Okay, so I already have virtual env. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new virtual environment. So that is virtual env. So I'm gonna say virtual env venv. So okay, because we are basically this says we're creating a new virtual environment. The name of the virtual environment is venv. Yeah, so you can name whatever you want, but I'm gonna call it venv. Yeah, okay. Go ahead, and it says installing setup tools, pip, will, whatever. It's gonna take around 10 seconds, I think. So okay. Okay, perfect. So our virtual environment is now created. So we need to activate this virtual environment. So there is something I want you to be aware of. So if you're in Windows, so to activate a virtual environment, you just say activate venv. Yeah, so that's what you need. So if I hit activate here, that wouldn't work because I'm in Mac. So for a Mac user, you're gonna say source venv, the virtual environment name, and then bin activate. Okay, now the virtual environment is activated, so you can see here venv. So I think I'm right. I think it's if you're in Windows, it's just activate venv. I think. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. So just otherwise, just Google search how to activate a virtual environment from Windows. Okay, good. Now with the virtual environment is activated, so we're gonna pip install our tools that we need today. So for example, we'll be leading Flask, of course, because we're gonna use Flask to create our backend for our static website. So pip install Flask. Okay, good. Flask is installed. We will be also pip install Greenicorn, our G-Unicorn. Yeah, so G-Unicorn is a WSGI. It's a Python web server gateway interface. So this is basically where our application will be running on. So it's going to be running on G-Unicorn. So let's pip install G-Unicorn. You don't actually need to understand how G-Unicorn works. It's just you just have to like pip install it. That's it. So we have pip installed G-Unicorn. We have pip installed Flask. So let's go ahead to create the backend for our static website for today. Yeah, so okay. So let's make a new file called touch.index.py. That's where our Python app will be living in. Okay, good. So the idea behind a static website is, there is no server logic behind the website. For example, if a website is static, that means the website is not interacting with some sorts of database from the backend. So in order for Heroku to serve our static files, we need to be wrapping around, that static file with some sort of backend logic, So that's what we are doing here because we want Heroku to understand our static files here having some backend logic. So if we just push this index.html file without creating any backend logic, that wouldn't work. So because Heroku wouldn't understand. So in this case, we need to use Flask to create a backend for our static website. So the static file is wrapped around with the Flask backend logic. So when we push the apps to Heroku, so Heroku can understand the logic and serve the static web pages as a web application. Okay, enough said. Let's get started from the coding today. So we're gonna import a bunch of stuff here. I'm gonna from Flask import Flask, and also we need to import render template from Flask. Okay. Now we need to create our app, our backend app from Flask. So that is Flask __name __, or you can say app equals Flask download name. Yeah, okay. After creating our app, we're gonna create a simple route. That is add app to route / this is basically means we're gonna be creating a route for the home page like www.domain.com. Yeah, so when we push our web pages to Heroku, yeah, so this is gonna be the first, the first URL that will be served from our index.html file here. So I'm gonna say def index. I'm gonna pass in a function def index, and this function gonna be returned just for now. Just say hey you. Good. Okay. And now let's run the app to see if it works. I'm gonna say if download name underscore underscore name underscore underscore equals underscore underscore main underscore underscore. Okay, good. I'm gonna say app.run. For now, I'm just gonna say debug equals true. Yeah, it's okay. Good. Okay. Now we have created our backend app. So I'm gonna run the app now. Let's clear the screen. Let's say Python index.py. Okay. Sorry, Python. I made a typo. Sorry about that. Python index. Okay. Now it says our app is running. Let's head over to the browser to see how that works. Okay. Hey, cool. You see, it says hey you. So which means we got our Flask app up and running in our local environment. Yeah. So the next thing we're gonna be doing is tell Flask. So we're gonna now tell Flask to serve the static website here from to serve this static web page. So how do we do that? So if you notice, we haven't actually used the render template here. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. So instead of saying hey you, now I'm gonna saying return render template, passing the static page static file name. So that is index.html. I'm gonna say index.html. Save this. Head over to the browser and refresh again. Now you can see literally your static file is up and running in our local Flask app. Isn't that cool, my friend? Okay, good. Now, let me explain why we need to create a folder called templates here. Because Flask wouldn't understand other folder names. So if you want a Flask to understand where your static file is, you're gonna create a templates here. So as long as you create a folder called templates, so Flask can understand where it should look up the static file. Yeah. So in this case, we have an index.html here. So we create a templates folder. So Flask, when you pass the keyword here, so Flask understand, it's gonna look up in the templates folder and serve the index.html file. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Now everything is up and running, so it's exciting now. So how do we push the static file to the web, to Heroku? Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna just let me just create the server first. Create the server first and clear the screen. Okay, before pushing our app to Heroku, we need one more few steps to fulfill here. So that is we need to create a proc file, that is proc file, that is a process file. Basically, that's where we tell Heroku where our file, where our web app is served or is running. Okay, so that is without any extension, just touch proc file. So okay, now we'll create a proc file here. So then we need to passing some arguments here in the proc file. So I'm gonna say web column space g unicorn, and I'm gonna say index column app. So this is basically telling Heroku, okay, our app is running in G unicorn, and where Heroku should be looking at the app. So instead of saying index.py, we're just gonna say index because this is where our backend app is live on. Yeah. So that's why you should say index. and we're passing the Flask app object here. So because we give a variable name here called app, so that's why we should include them here. So index.app. So in this way, Heroku can understand where to serve up our app from the index.py file here. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's save this. There are still a few more steps. So we're gonna now create a requirements text file. So I'm gonna say pip freeze requirements.txt. So for this, we're including everything we need in a requirements.txt file. So that's all your dependencies for your web application in this case. Yeah, okay. So if you notice, you already create a requirements.txt file. Let's take a look. So basically, these are all your these are all your dependencies that you need for this whole project. Okay, good. Okay, that's it for now. So let's go ahead and continue. Okay, now we should get init so that Heroku can track our can track our files. So let's say get init. It says initialized with empty get repository. Okay, good. Now after get initiating, so we're gonna be log in to Heroku from your command line. Yeah, so if you're logging for the first time, so if you use a Heroku for the first time from a command line, you're gonna be logging first. Heroku login. Okay, it says press any key to open up the browser. Okay, I'm gonna hit S. Okay, my browser is popping up. So now I just click login. So now you're logged in from your command line to Heroku. Yeah, so you can close this page or you can just leave as it is. Yeah, so I'm not gonna close it. Okay, now after logging in, let's create a Heroku app. So Heroku create. Okay, it's creating app, so it's gonna give you this, very weird name like Shooty Sands. Okay, good. Now let's push files. Let's push our application to Heroku now. Let's say get status, just track the changes. Okay, we have these files. These are newly created. Now it's say get add space dot to add all the changes. Okay, good. Now we need to commit these changes. Let's say get commit -m. Let's give a little bit message here. Let's say first app. Okay, good. Then it's gonna create these commits. After committing these changes, now we're finally pushing our files to Heroku. Okay, good. Let's say, then we need to say get push Heroku master. Okay, good. So we're pushing all the files to Heroku now. So it says delta compression using up to 4 threads, compression objects, writing objects, It's very quick and it's gonna take like 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, I think. Let's just wait patiently here and to wait for everything to be finished. Okay, it says Python app detected, installing Python, installing SQLite 3, compressing again. Okay, almost done here. Good. Okay, perfect. Now it says URL, this URL deployed to Heroku. Yeah, okay, good. And so you can actually copy this URL and head over to the browser to see if it works. So I'm gonna just say a command line command here and just say Heroku open. Yeah. Okay, good. Congratulations, your web application is now live on the web. So you see, it's no longer in the local. Anybody can use this URL to visit your web application. Yeah. So that's it, guys. That's how you host a static website using Python with Heroku. Yeah. Okay. In the next video, we're gonna be talking about how to add a custom domain to your web application here, because as you see, there's it's a Heroku app URL. And looks weird. It's kind of long and not easy to remember. So in the next video, we're gonna be talking about how you can add your own domain to this web URL. For example, you can visit your domain like that to visit this web application. Okay, that's it, guys. I hope this video is very useful again. So if you have any criticism, suggestions, or whatever, or complaints, and leave your comments there. And otherwise, subscribe to my channel. Okay. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will be by your side if you need any helps. And okay, have a nice day. Bye.